Yo, what's going on, everybody? Corpo's Beast here. Today, guys, I'm going to do a video over the time I could have died, not like almost died, because I guess it's almost in a way. I mean, I totaled my truck. Pictures of the truck will be shown like all throughout this video. So, grab a bucket of popcorn and get ready to hear the story. All right, guys, let's get into the story. So waking up that day, I probably didn't get enough sleep, and I was like just tired, and I had to wake up off an alarm, and it was just like kind of like a bad day. I just didn't really feel like doing much, and there was this parade going on that my girlfriend wanted me to go to with her, and I was like, okay, sure, whatever. And then it kept on getting delayed because of how shitty the weather was. Like it was pouring down rain, and it was just not a good day. So right around the time I'm getting ready to leave, she tells me that it's been pushed back a little bit more, and I get like super mad at that. Like I'm super upset at this point. I'm like, can I just come over and hang out? Because like at this point, it doesn't seem like we're ever gonna hang out today. And she was like, yeah, that's fine. And then I I go get my truck, 2020 or not 2020, goddamn, 2004 GMC 2500 HD. Um, got their V8 motor, so I like the 6.0, and I pulled out my driveway and I was driving along, and I was driving pissed off, like most definitely driving pissed off. I mean, I don't remember much from this day. I mean, all of it was kind of a blur for me. Like, I hit my head pretty fucking hard, dude. It was bad. Um, I got, I was driving, and I was driving recklessly, and I know I shouldn't have been driving like that. It was pretty dumb of me to be driving like that because coming into a turn that and it's already a little bit wet on the roads, and it kind of messed I kind of was fucking up in terms of driving, and I never usually do. Um, that should have been my first that turn that going in there should have been my first oh hey, maybe you should calm the fuck down before you throw this bitch into a field. And I'm going down that road like it's a shitty fucking road, dude. They really need to do something about that road. It's pretty fucked up. Um, but it probably wasn't even the road that caused the wreck. Um, I'm driving. I'm getting pretty far down this road, and I'm almost at a four-way stop that leads to where my girlfriend lives, and another town on either side. So I'm just going. I'm probably doing 65 miles an hour, and then I hit dirt, mud, because these guys that have a farm out next to their place, they're fucking terrible. They always pull out in their fucking truck. Like their truck is fucking throwing mud everywhere on the road. So it makes these big ass ruts on the fucking pavement of just mud. So I'm going up through there, and what we think happened. I can't actually remember anything from the wreck. This was a little bit ago, and also I couldn't remember anything then either. I was so I had such a bad concussion, I couldn't remember anything until later that night. But I it I hit that mud, and the ass end kicks out, and then I get down into the ditch, to the towards the ditch, and the tie rod snaps. Um, when the tie rod snapped, it actually took my truck and threw it up over the fence. Like it like flung the truck over the fence. There was a fence there, and I barely even touched the fence, and I went straight over the fence. There was no possible chance that, like, I wouldn't, or I would have hit the fence. Like in a normal wreck, I would have just hit the fence and been like, okay. But this fucking thing was taking air, and that's not a light. And the truck's not light at all. It probably weighs like, it's a quarter ton. Um, Maybe half ton. I can't remember. I think it's a quarter ton truck, and it fucking comes down hard, dude. I would. It probably came down on his bed and then slingshot itself like across the field. I was 90 foot into the field. By the time the truck stopped. Um, and I wake up after being unconscious for who knows how long. I'm upside down, and in that very moment, I'm like looking around and I'm starting to fucking panic, dude. Like I am starting to panic. I I'm just looking around, like figuring out what the fuck happened because I mean I don't remember shit. And I crawl out of my seat, like the seatbelt was pretty loose. I don't know why, but the seatbelt was loose. And I crawl out from under, or not out from under. I crawl out from my seat and I hit the roof of the truck, which it's got glass everywhere. And I just like start scrambling around, like upside down on the truck, looking for my phone. I find my phone. That motherfucker's destroyed, dude. Like the glass is like chunks are missing of it. Like the top and the entire top of the screen did not work. Um, but I grab my phone and I just fucking crawl out from under it from the passenger side. I remember it was the passenger side because the driver's side was just way too low to get out of, and I started panicking because I felt like I was trapped inside that truck. Like in my head, I was like, "Oh my god, it's so flat that I can't get out of it," and I'm freaking the fuck out. And I was just full like on like, how what the fuck do I do? Like what do I do? And then I look at the passenger side and there's like enough for me to squeeze out. So I squeeze out of the truck and I look at it and dude, my heart shatters in that moment, dude. That truck was my first truck and it was an awesome truck, dude. Like that thing had so much. Like it was a 4x4. It wasn't lifted at all. Like the body was pretty straight on it. We just got a new fender for it that it needed because it was had a dent in it. Um and like dude, I was so like heartbroken about that truck. Like I mean, yeah, it's just a truck and I'm like I'm okay, but like, it was a really good truck to me. And I mean like honestly, I was pretty beat up about it. I was like, for a while there, I just didn't really feel like doing much. But I crawl out from the truck and I look at it, bro, and I'm like so sad at that point, dude. Like I'm like almost crying. Um, and I start walking back up to the road, and I remember my head hurt so bad, dude. Everything was like a daze. Like it was like everything was so bright, dude. And I get up to the road, and some dude stops, and he's like, "Are you okay?" And I mean, I don't want to be like mean or anything, but like, if you see a truck 90 foot in a field upside down, I don't think the person that was in is okay. Um, I, I was just like, I was like, yeah, I'm fine. Do you have a phone? Because my phone was fucked and it wasn't working. I couldn't call my dad or anything. Um, so he calls 911 first, and I call my parents. And I'm like, hey, I just wrecked, and they're like, oh shit, and they like immediately leave the house and start driving out there to where I am, and it was weird. I'm gonna be honest with you because I don't remember the guy's face at all. I don't remember his name. The guy that actually stopped to help me. I don't remember his face, his name. Like all I like, all I know is his last name because like I don't know. It's a really prominent name around where I'm at. Um, and also like his truck. It was a Dodge 2500, like the Laramie edition, like the nice leather interior. Like I was like, okay, like I don't know why I remember that, but I can't remember the dude's name or what he looks like. I sat in his truck for a while, like just like kind of rubbing my head, like that shit hurt, and like all along my head, you could just see like it was like cut up on the top of my head, like I just had blood all over me. My nose was bleeding, and I just had my jacket wiping my nose the entire time. My jacket still has bloodstains on it because we can't get them out with anything, and it's like a really like nice $80 Champion hoodie. So I was like, fuck. Um, and but that dude was pretty nice, dude. Like he just let me sit in his truck for a minute, and then like whenever the cops showed up, oh my god, their lights. I wanted to die. Cop walked up to me and he's like, "Where's your license?" And I said, "It's in the truck." And I didn't actually know where my wallet was at the time because I was so dazed. It could have been in my truck or on my desk. And I decided to go with the smart answer and say it's in my truck. So like it's somewhere out there. And or they asked me for my name and I was like, my name, and then it's Corbin, and then they were like, oh, okay, ambulance shows up, and the guys are like, and the police is like, are like, sorry, my grammar and vocabulary are not great tonight. My parents, or not my parents, and the police or the officers like, oh, okay, yada yada yada, and then the ambulance people like EMS shows up, and they're like, okay, like he has to go, like, and the cop couldn't talk to me anymore and question me anymore. He did ask me what happened, and I told him I don't fucking remember, dude. I really don't. I told him I hydroplaned, and he asked me how fast I was going. I said I was going about 60. Speed limit on that road was like 50, 55. So I didn't get a ticket for it or anything, but I'm on my way to the hospital, and the ambulance like slips off the road a little bit, and I was like, fuck, I'm gonna wreck again. But bro, they had me up in like this neck brace and like this uncomfortable ass thing up under my back, and I was like, fuck this, dude. I could have just walked home and slept it off. Bro, and I just wanted to take a nap the entire time. I was like, just let me take a nap, dude. Let me take a nap. Because I was like so badly concussed that like I just wanted to nap it off. And they won't let you do that because usually people fall into like into sort of like a state, like a coma. That's what it's called. They fall into a coma, and I was like, just like please let me sleep, and they're like, we can't let you sleep. And funny thing is, my girlfriend's mom was actually the nurse that was looking after me while I was in the hospital, and I was sitting there, and I was like, oh, her mom will never let me, like, her mom will never trust me again. And, like, her mom's like, oh, no, it's okay. And I was like, oh, like, I was like, bro, that's not right, bro. Because it was like, she was, she was my nurse. I didn't know she was my nurse at the time. And they were like putting an IV in my arm and shit, like, trying to, like, save my life or whatever. And I mean, I was fine. I was perfectly fine. But if I had a concussion, I was absolutely okay. I had no broken bones. Only thing I really had hurt on me was my like elbow and my shoulder, but that's the parts that like came down onto the roof after it finally hit. Um, Airbags never went off. which is good because that probably would have killed me. Um, and the only thing that really saved me is I was slumped over on my side. But by the time I got to Cook's, the next hospital I was going to, Cook's Children, because they have a way better like head trauma unit there, and apparently I'd like, or sorry, I can't say that on YouTube, so that's gonna be bleeped out. But you know the current virus that's going around right now, I had that, um, and I was just like, I was in the hospital, and that hospital, the first nurse that was there, she wouldn't even fucking come 5 foot near me, dude. And then the doctor showed up, and he didn't give a fuck, dude. All he had was a mask on. He was like, "Oh no, like I don't really care. I mean, if I get sick, I get sick." And I was like, "He's chill." Like that doctor was actually chill, dude. Like he made me like feel like okay, and so did my girlfriend's mom. Like she's really nice. She's really nice. Um, but I only, bro, I only spent a fucking day in that hospital, dude. I hated it. I hated it. Except whenever I got to like the COVID ward area where like, they told me like where you go to like after they like figure out you have COVID. And I was in there and there was this really nice nurse that woke me up at like 3, 4 in the morning because they had to get another COVID test from me. And she was really nice and sweet. I mean, it's kind of like, there was a few bad apples during my experience at the hospital. And I mean, it was mainly during Cooks. Like, I mean, that one nurse was a bitch, and then like another one that came in when I was in the COVID room, bro, she was a bitch too. I was like, God damn, like, what the fuck? Um, but spent the entire next day watching, or no, yeah, no, I spent the entire next day watching what's that one movie called? It's the one with The Rock in it. What the fuck is that called? Jumanji 2, that one, yeah. I spent the day watching Jumanji 2 whenever that first came out. Or probably like a few weeks after it released. I don't remember. I don't remember when Jumanji 2 came out, but I just spent the next day watching movies. They brought me food from like the hospital, bro, and that shit tastes like ass. Like, like I could barely eat it because it tasted so fucking bad. And then they finally released me, and we went to fucking like I think it was like Arby's or something, like somewhere. Arby's, like I think McDonald's actually. We went to like McDonald's and got some fucking food. But bro, that was a terrible experience. I mean, there's gonna be pictures all throughout this. So if you enjoyed this video, like and subscribe, and let's roll the outro.
Yeah, yeah, yeah. Say next door, where you wanna go? Tell that baby girl don't wanna live no more. Say next door, where you wanna go? Tell that baby girl don't wanna live no more.